I've been attending them for many, many years. As you know, the history of Palestine and Israel started many decades ago. So this October the 7th was just another mark on the history between these two territories. But as an attendee of these protests, I just want to say that calling this a hate march is just beyond me, because there are people there from all walks of life. I bring my children there. My child was 6 weeks old when she went to her first Palestinian march in a sling. I bring them there because this is teaching them that we are human beings, and the people of Palestine are also human beings. And actually, to call them a hate march, it is completely the opposite. The people who attend these marches don't have hatred, and that's why they are there. They don't have hatred for Palestinian people. They don't have hatred for Jewish people, and they don't have hatred for Israel. It is there because we have love for human beings and life.
I'm quite happy to accept that the overwhelming majority of people would fit into the exact categories that you've just mentioned. Mm-hmm. But you will have seen some of the placards. You will have heard some of the chants that some people make. They're not filled with love, are they? They're filled with hate.
So you were speaking about from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That is simply talking about freedom for the Palestinian people who have been living under occupation, under imperialist rule, under colonialism. We think this is a thing of the past, but it's not. And we're allowing this to still happen. And what really bothers me is that I'm a
you're deflecting on what I said. I mean, have you seen or heard any of the things that I just mentioned on these marches at all?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen any placard that's sort of expressing an unfortunate view about Israel? You've never seen heard anything about death to Jews?
The community where I've seen some placards held by the Orthodox Jewish community who attend the marches very regularly. Very peaceful people, very gentle people. I've had conversations with the Orthodox Jewish community at these marches, and they hold placards to say that they want to be recognised as Jewish people and not as Zionists. So they're the only signs that I see where it could be controversial, because it is their community who is suffering the most with, the rise in anti-Semitism, and a lot of people are putting Jewish people in the same, under the same label as Israeli people, but actually it's two completely separate identities. But like I said, it's not about hatred. It is about love. It is about humanitarian humanity.
If you saw, and I've got several examples here of these placards being shown. Admittedly, this one outside the Cenotaph, that wasn't on one of the marches. This was taken on Thursday, but there was Palestinian flags either side of this woman holding this placard saying, "Please keep the world clean," and then holding a rubbish bin with a Star of David on the side of it. If you saw somebody holding one of those placards at a march like this, would you remonstrate with them?
I wouldn't engage with them because, like I said, we're peaceful people and we attend a peaceful protest to show our humanity for human life.
So you wouldn't ask somebody why they're holding a poster which promotes hate?
Well, I don't know if you saw the images of the man in Palestine who was holding his children's limbs in plastic bags as he gathered them from the rubble.
Classic whataboutery. Classic whataboutery.
Did you see that?
No.
Maybe that might be something that you should focus your attention on.
No, I'll focus I'll focus my attention on what we're talking about in this hour, and it's not people holding placards in Israel. It's people holding intentionally abusive placards in London promoting anti-Semitism. And I think it's quite a reasonable question to ask you, given that what you said about wanting to promote love, not hate, if you would then remonstrate in a peaceful way with somebody who was carrying a poster that promoted hatred towards Jews.
But they don't hate Jewish people.
Well, if you hold a poster like this, you do.
It might be that they dislike the Israeli occupation.
No,
I think
they haven't mentioned. There isn't a mention of Israel. There isn't a mention of Israel on this. It's a Star of David, which is a sign of Jewish people.
Well, it's actually the star of the Israeli flag. So the Israeli flag.
I'm well aware of that, but the Star of David has been used by Jewish people over centuries, not just since the creation of the State of Israel.
I can guarantee you that majority of people, more than the majority of people, have absolutely no. In fact, they see the Jewish people as their brothers and their sisters.
I agree with you, but I don't see why you wouldn't want to say to this person, "Why are you bringing this march into disrepute by promoting hatred of Jews?" Why wouldn't you do that?
You know, there was 500,000 people attended the Palestinian March last weekend. It was the largest Palestinian march in history.
I think even the organisers said it was 300,000, so you've increased it by 40% there.
I think it was published to be 500,000 on the news outlets that published the truth. But
it was actually the Free Palestine campaign that said it was 300,000.
Why don't you look at the core problem here?
No, because you won't answer my question. Because you won't answer my question. Because I think you're being completely hypocritical and two-faced about this.
No. It's not my place to.
No, it really is. Any normal person seeing that kind of placard would want to understand why the person thinks that's appropriate. Any normal person
that sees children being blown up in their homes, hospitals being bombed, mosques, churches.
Whataboutery? Why can't you answer the question? Why can't you answer the question? I think I know the reason.
These protests to show that we do not accept this in our world.
Yeah. And you shouldn't accept anti-Semitism in the world either.
No, we don't.
Well, you do. Don't. If you tolerate posters like this and don't remonstrate with the people holding them, you do effectively tacitly support them.
If the Jewish community felt at risk, why can they peacefully attend these marches where there are 300,000 in your notes, 500,000 in mine? Why can the Jewish people go to these marches every single weekend and not a hair is touched on their head, not a word is spoken to them? Because we know it's not the Jewish community who are behind the brutal occupation of Palestine. It's not the Jewish.
But the message from this conversation is that you tolerate anti-Semitism by tolerating these people who hold these disgusting views, these disgusting posters on these marches. I don't tolerate. Oh my God! Well, now we've taken a turn.
If you are more concerned about a woman holding a placard at a Palestinian march than talking about the core root of why those people are in the street.
We've been talking about it for the last 90 minutes. I don't need any lessons from you on the background to all of this and why the marches are taking place. I fully understand why the marches are taking place. I support the fact that people have the right to march in this country. What I don't support is people like you who tolerate anti-Semitism by not remonstrating with the people who hold these disgusting posters. And frankly, Dominique, you disgust me. It's 11:31.